listen, man, I talk and like do it and hustle and all this. I do so much more than I talk, which is fucking crazy because my mouth is always running, but I'm just doing. I'm doing, because I'm tasting. I never think I'm fancy. So many people in here, and I know you, like so many people here make it a little bit and get fancy. Stop doing the shit that got them there. That's the minute you're fucking dead. You got it.
So
hey, Marshall.
I have a question. There's a guy I follow online. You might have heard of him. His name's Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yes.
And he told me to push all in on whatever it is that you're good at. So
yes.
I'm making this big push as Marshall Live. I'm going to everything live, like straight to ask me questions. I love that aspect of your brand. So the question is, if everything's moving to voice, is live streaming podcast going to end up being bigger than, say, iTunes or a recording that you can come back to?
So first of all, you said something interesting that we all do. If everything's moving to voice, nothing is everything. Like, we will always have the written word. Do you know how much virality there is through long form written Facebook and Instagram posts? Like, if you sit in here and you can write long ass posts on Facebook and Instagram and watch what the fuck happens. We are humans. We've been around a long fucking time, bro. Marshall, written word, audio, video. Shit is locked in. Got it? So it's not like you're gonna lose it. Like, fuck, if you're great at smoke signals, get the fuck up there, communication doesn't change. The pillars of communication are set. Where we communicate changes, right? And then you have to be contextual, right? Some people are incredible at making a 6-second video. I keep looking at them because it's fun to see them. I haven't seen them in a while. Others aren't. Like, I can't put 2 fucking sentences together in my life. I have 5 New York Times bestselling books because I have a ghostwriter. Because I didn't try to become a great writer when the blogging thing happened, because I bet on my strengths. And so I do believe that everybody here should bet on their strengths and surround themselves with their weaknesses. I actually think back to earlier question, I think AI and machine learning is gonna help a lot of us in here who are creative close the gap on a lot of our weaknesses, which is gonna be really awesome. You got it. Yo. Yep.
So
Kevin.
It's Kevin, yeah. I think a lot of people in here, using ClickFunnels or not, have kind of come into a lot more money than maybe they've ever been used to making.
Okay.
And in one of your previous sentences, you said, yeah, you only care about money, and all of a sudden you're 47, but then you didn't finish your sentence. I was hoping to hear you elaborate on that.
Sure. I'm sure a lot of people here who, let's say, have come into money, it's not as great as advertised for a lot of people. Some people love it. They like watches and Lambos and houses, and that's fucking rad. Like, mazel tov. Other people don't, and you start questioning what the fuck, right? Because when you've got nothing and you're on the come up and you've got numbers in your head, whether it's 1 million or 5 or 3 or whatever the fuck it is, it's fucking empty when you get there for a lot of people. And so, I'm just trying to make sure people are being thoughtful. They're just, much like what I just said to Marshall, like, life is pretty simple. Like, people play on legacy, on family, on money. Like, there's just a couple pillars. I just think in our space right now, and I know a lot of you have heard me rant on this, I do think entrepreneurship has taken a turn towards club promotion, and that's just dangerous. It's just dangerous for the people that are I don't give a fuck. It's dangerous because people don't realize they need to build a business, not a perception that they're good at business. I don't know, Because nobody's, when the market crashes, nobody's going to Vegas with you when you work at Bank of fucking America. I'm just trying to get people to be more thoughtful. Sure. Hey, man.
How you doing?
I'm super well.
Awesome. So, Russell and you were 2 of last year. I was selling websites. Was getting really frustrated that I wasn't helping people. Felt like they weren't growing their sales, but they had a really nice site. So you guys inspired me to start a podcast.
Awesome.
Didn't know exactly what for, but just...
You're like, fuck it, those guys are doing it, I will too?
More along the lines of, I was listening to a podcast in the gym. Host asked the other guy, what would you tell your 20-year-old self? And the guy answered, I would divorce my wife earlier. I was super pissed off. I'm married with 2 young kids and wanted to have a podcast from different perspective. And so a year later, thank God, 2 weeks ago, I got to publish my interview with Russell. I've had Dean Graziosi. And so my question is, number one is, how do you grow even further? And number two is, not just for me, but anybody starting or in progress, what should your priorities be?
So let's sit here. You know, both of those things I can't answer because you need to decide, you know, what, first of all, you have to define growing for me. Is growing being a top 50 podcast? I mean, like we all get into our micro games. And by the way, I think micro games are good. You know, little short goals, micro, it's kind of good. You scratch it, it's fun for a little bit. I think you got to have your macro point of view. Like if you're telling me the truth that you felt like the conversations were going in the wrong directions and you wanted to go a different place, well, the answer to your question is just do it every day until you're dead, right? Like that's my plan. My plan is, you know, hopefully it gets me to like this one little funny weird thing that I want to buy a football team. But other than that, my plan is to put out shit for free that is historically correct so that so I can continue to live the life I'm living, which is I made the money I wanted to make a long time ago. But getting 50, 60, 70 emails, 80 emails a day of people like, fuck, you helped me, like that's just like intoxicating, but that's what gets me off. And by the way, I'm not sure that like, you know, like I understand why that wouldn't be meaningful to somebody else. Like, so you just have to do what you have to do for yourself, right? Like that's how you grow by consistency.
Awesome.
You know, you grow by, you're a year in. You grow when you're 19 years into your podcast.
More specifically in terms of actual numbers
Yes.
and taking what you've done and
Yes.
now like specifically on the number aspect of it, what do you recommend in terms of taking your platform and kind of skyrocketing numbers?
Buy underpriced attention. Whether that's buying ads on Facebook and Snapchat right now because they're underpriced, if that's working with influencers because many are still underpriced, whether that's taking the high risk of trying to make a $10,000 to $50,000 version of what you just saw, their incredible video, because that one video can be your Dollar Shave Club of your brand. Saying yes to everything. Like if you want it, if you're hungry, you do what I did, which is 4 years ago when I didn't jump into podcasting right away. The first 2 years I just went on everyone's. And so I could have went to sleep at 11 p.m. or I could have went on Lewis House's podcast at 11 p.m. Like that was a decision. It's just about awareness. Like where are the eyeballs? And so just put your time and effort into that. Some of it's free, some of it costs money.
Thanks.
You got it.
Hey, Gary.
Hey, brother.
My first time seeing you. Your honesty is so beautiful, and it's just wonderful listening to you.
Appreciate it, bro.
As someone who's trying to like build a brand and
Yeah.
you know get a podcast and get more into Facebook and all these
Yep.
sort of things, Twitter and all this.
Yep.
What are kind of some tips you have for building like a powerhouse team around you to help you accomplish all these things?
First, it has to be, so stay here. First, it has to be practical. So some people in here can afford people, other people can't. So they either have to learn how to do it themselves by spending hours looking at YouTube videos on how to or read, or finding people, like we're in an incredible era right now. There's so many kids, 14 to 21, that want to be creators and think it's cool to like do it for free, you know? So you just need to test and learn. Everybody's overthinking. Just do. Like, I don't know, post right now, like literally right now, as soon as you sit down, like go on fucking whatever platform has the most, go on all of them and be like, I'm looking for a video and audio intern and see what the fuck happens. Like, again, I always tell people, watch what I do, not what I say. Like, I know a lot of, you know, there's a good amount of people I see here that follow me, like randomly out of I fucking tweeted today, does anybody make customizable retail floor mats? I needed a retail format. Like you do? Good. Do you do them for free in exchange for some awareness? You know, so, you know, like I would ask and then try somebody and be like, you know, like the amount of people I've hired when it was early in something and I didn't know if they were good or bad, I just thought it was much smarter to just do it and then figure out if it was working. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, they sucked. I'm just not scared to waste money or time, and everybody's petrified because you worry about what other people think about you. That's why, if you're curious. That's the fucking answer. That's the fucking, see ya. That's the fucking answer. Your answer's so easy. How do you build a team? Hire some fucking people, bro. I mean, right? But it's like, you know, but you're like, but I don't understand. Like, people are scared to get had because they don't get it. Okay, put in a shitload of time to learn the craft, or bring someone in and watch what they're doing carefully instead of like outsourcing it and fucking falling asleep because you're all fucking passive income and I got a team doing shit and I fucking stupid. Got it?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, Gary.
Hey, Jay.
My name is Jay, and I run the Inner Changemaker podcast, and I want to ask a question that goes a little deeper with what you're saying in terms
Sure.
of sound and
Sure.
watching what you do.
Sure.
We've noticed that you've launched a couple other podcasts outside of Ask Gary Vee.
Within my experience, mean like the brown paper bags and that
Brown
shit?
paper bags,
Okay.
kind of like the
Yes.
365 daily. So
The 365 is an Alexa skill.
Right. Okay.
Briefing, excuse me. So I've been doing sub-branding in my podcast
Yeah.
because I'm testing to see if there's traction, and I'll spin them out and create
see.
new pillars.
Okay, so I guess my real question is for content creators
Yes.
that started on like one platform.
Yes.
For example, I started an interview-based show, right?
Great.
Just kind of like you
Yes.
have a Q&A show.
Yes.
If you kind of have that urge to kind of branch out,
Do it within the interview show because you have audience there.
yeah,
Don't worry that you may lose a couple people. Like right now, as
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody has seen for 2 strategic reasons, out of nowhere, I'm talking a lot more than I should be about wine, right? I'm
Right.
doing it for a reason. There's no question that there's people unfollowing me because they're like, yo, bro, I fucking came here to fucking get pumped up because I have no fucking juice. The fuck are you trying to sell me actual juice, right? Like, so, but I don't give a fuck because I'm playing a like a macro game. Like, I don't want to lose people from it. I'm sad. I don't want to disrespect your attention and know what you came for, but I need to test something.
Right.
And this is what I have. And so I think it's better off for you to like try it because one, you may hit pay dirt. You know, one thing a lot of people don't realize is your numbers look good, but they're disguising the fact that you've plateaued and you're tired. And so I think you try it within it. And you take the risk of a little decline for enormous upside. Because you can always go back
right.
instead of starting a whole new thing that's gonna take energy. Got it?
Got it.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Hey, Gary.
Like your hat, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate that. My name is Prince. I run a company called Art of Visuals. We have over 1 million content creators in 122 countries. You said something earlier about everyone 14 to 22 wants to be a content creator. I absolutely agree with that and have tons of those people in my community. The problem is with there being so many content creators now, how do these content creators, how do they create a business? How do they make money when
By
you
being
have
better.
thousands of people doing it for free,
By
et cetera?
being better.
Cool.
Yeah, guys, it's supply and demand. And then once there's too much supply, you have to be the best.
Right.
And just move on to the next thing. Like, I bought all the Google AdWords of every wine term for 5 cents a click the day it started. That was good. Then everybody jumped on and they started becoming $2 and $3 and $4 words and it became different. Then I had to be better. Then I had to be more crafty. Then what I started doing is the day the Wine Spectator would come out with good scores, we would buy that exact wine, that exact vintage. That became our new arbitrage for a year or two before everybody caught up. When a market's mature, you've got to be better.
Do you think it's good enough just to be a content creator? Do you think these
Nope.
content creators need to also have products and other things that they're pushing as well? Besides
Look, if you're
just the
fucking
art?
Steven Spielberg, you probably can end up just being a content creator. But if you're like Sal, maybe you got to consider other revenue streams.
Right.
It's just very basic business. Supply and demand, Prince, right? 4 years ago, there are people that land grabbed. They were good and they were first. It's just real estate. If you were the people that bought Malibu beachfront property first, you won. Right, boys? You won. You made money. But there's a reason you were the first. It wasn't fucking Malibu yet, Prince. And now people who buy Malibu beachfront properties, they're just better. So all those kids that they're gonna aspire to be the next this, they've got a rude awakening. To be the next this, you've got to be 5 times better. It's evolution. When people debate these athletes versus these athletes would destroy every athlete from other generations because they work out 24/7 now. They have data now. You know, like, it hurts my feelings too that my childhood kid, they would get fucking destroyed. LeBron would step on people's heads in the 80s. Like, people don't get it. It's just fucking evolution.
Cool. Thanks, Gary.
You got it.